What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dave Allen. Get this. Dave Allen states that I don't really see a way that he wins. Concerning Dillian Whyte faces tough task against Tyson Fury and insists Alexander Usyk is the only man who could dethrone the Gypsy King. Dillian Whyte must produce a performance his former opponent Dave Allen cannot comprehend if he does get the best or get the opportunity to fight Tyson Fury. The WBC heavyweight champion has been ordered to defend his title against the body snatcher, as we know. And this is what Dave Allen had to say. He says, I think he'll go down as one of the best of all time. So for Dillian, it's a difficult task. Dillian can punch. He's a good body puncher, of course. He has a good jab. I just think that everything Dillian is good at, Tyson negates it. Dillian got a great jab, but he's facing a man who's 6'9", defensively sound, got a good reach, good jab himself. Good luck getting inside Tyson's reach. How often do we see Tyson get hurt? And when he does, he always seems to bounce back. He's been hit by the hardest punching heavyweight of the last 20 to 30 years. It didn't stop him from winning. I just think that Tyson's got an answer for everything that Dillian will come at with him. But it's an interesting fight nonetheless. Dillian's still one of the top 10, possibly top 5 heavyweights in the world. So it's one of the best fights that you can get. He said, I just think that Tyson is so far ahead of the pack. I don't see him having much trouble in this fight. Wow. And Allen continued, though. There's more. He said, I don't think that there's a man on the planet that could win 7 out of the 12 rounds against Tyson Fury. So looking at that, you have to say Dillian Whyte's only chance is by knockout. But Tyson Fury against Wilder in their second fight was a wrecking machine. So I don't think anybody wants to be walking on to that. It's so difficult. I'm trying to give you an explanation as how he could win or why he would win. But in all out honesty, there's not much I can tell you. I don't really see a way he wins. And he said, I think most importantly, self-belief, blah, 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 blah. And he said, but I don't think we'll see that. I think Usyk's got an answer for everything. He said, okay, that's a totally different thing. But Alexander Usyk is the only person that could possibly dethrone Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Okay, now, back to the original. Dillian Whyte. Well, Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury. Dave Allen, of course, great guy, entertaining guy, wonderful personality, whatever. And he's right. You know, Tyson Fury seems to have everything that Dillian Whyte has. So basically everything Dillian Whyte could do, Tyson can do. Now the question is, can he do that better? Why do I say? Well, you have to look at the resume. Okay, you have to look at who Dillian Whyte fought versus who Tyson Fury fought. Tyson Fury fought the old king, Vlad. Outboxed Vlad, out-clevered Vlad. Got in Vlad's head, I think, just a bit. But I feel after that, he took a road of fighting Deontay Wilder, a guy that doesn't have those attributes. He just has a hard punch. And I think people get so carried away with the victory that in the whooping that Tyson Fury put on Deontay Wilder, they can't see, by perception, they can't see that someone else having a chance with Tyson Fury. They're wrong. They're wrong. Okay, Dillian Whyte might go in there and beat the shit out of Tyson Fury. Why? Because Tyson Fury showed us how he would handle someone that has lack or limited skill. Good punch, but lack or limited skill. Yeah, I know how you would knock out Dillian Whyte. Who doesn't? Hit him with an uppercut. Does Tyson Fury have an uppercut? Yep. So I'm not saying he can't knock him out, but what I'm saying is Tyson Fury, you think Tyson Fury is this, he's a force, but he's not flawless. Okay? See, if you can get caught with a straight right like he got caught with Wilder, you can get caught with anything else from any other fighter. Okay? And people need to understand that. He's not fighting Deontay Wilder no more. In fact, that could probably have been the worst thing he could have done. You fought Deontay Wilder last. You fought Deontay Wilder before that. That was the last opponent you had. Okay? And then and a little dude like Otto Whyte, and he's not really little, but smaller than Tyson, gave Tyson Fury all he could fucking handle. Tyson Fury beat him, but he didn't look just spectacular in that fight. He looked shitty. Okay? And the sad thing is we didn't really get to see Otto Whyte versus Dillian Whyte. That would have been something to see to at least a common denominator, right? But we didn't. But nonetheless, back to Fury. Fury, and then he shut out Tom Schwartz. That was a great performance. But Tom Schwartz was a little known guy that started smacking his woman up, right? Then he fought Wilder. So Wilder, Schwartz, Whyte, 12 rounds, went through a struggle, a challenge, fought Wilder again, then fought Wilder again. So now people, people do it all the time. I can't possibly see how Dillian Whyte could beat Tyson Fury. Easy. Execute your fucking game plan. Stop acting like Dillian Whyte can't punch, and stop acting like Tyson Fury's indestructible. Okay? That's what people need to stop. You know, I don't see how that happens. Based on what? Based on something he did again, based on something he was forced to do again. But what does that prepare you, and how does that prepare you fighting someone else? Someone with better fundamentals. Not that much better, but better. With a better resume, with better experience. He's been in there with everybody that Tyson Fury really hasn't. Think about it. Joshua, Lucas, Parker, right? Povetkin. He's been in there with those guys. Tyson Fury doesn't know anything about that. Okay? Now, mind you, those other guys really don't matter when he comes in there with Tyson Fury. But vice versa. Neither does Deontay Wilder. So anybody that thinks, hey, Deontay Wilder, you're bringing in victory or success, you know, and you're trying to spew that into another fight, you're going to be mistaken, because that's not Deontay Wilder that he's fighting. He's not going to be fighting someone with a 1 and a 2, or a jab in a right hand, or a jab in a right hand to the body. You see what I'm saying? He's not going to be in there with someone that one-dimensional, someone that limited. He's not going to be in there with that guy. Okay? See, Tyson Fury could very well much get hit with a right and get hurt. Now, don't say he can't get hurt just because he doesn't hit the hardest or don't get hit harder than Deontay Wilder. That's all Deontay Wilder really had was his right hand. And he used what he had. Coming from a guy that could hit you with a left hook, chop you with a right hand, hit you with a jab, good body punching. He might have a fight of his life in there. And then people will be surprised, but I will not. Okay? Now, the odds are for Tyson Fury. Why? Based on what he's done. But the things that he's done has been redundant. And people need to understand that. And I'm not hating on Tyson. I'm proud of Tyson Fury. You know, he beat a guy, and that guy was so butthurt he had a whole nation of people, right? Saying and believed that he cheated until he did it again. They all quietly shut the fuck up, didn't they? So, yeah. But that guy, Deontay Wilder, is not Dillian Whyte. And if he fights Whyte and he gets knocked out, don't be surprised. This is heavyweight boxing. Okay? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Dave Allen and his comments towards Dillian Whyte and his doubts towards Dillian Whyte. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.